Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy. I'm in my work clothes. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Conveniently, this show is called The Matt Murphy Show. That's good. We've got 4 hours together, and I hope you're able to spend every single moment with us. We thank you for being around on Super Talk 99.7 WTN from early in the morning with Dan Mandis and Nashville's Morning News through Chris Hand, Chad Benson, and then yours truly. And we hand off to Mark Levin at 7 o'clock tonight, or they kick us off the radio, whichever comes first. We're very excited to be here. Perhaps the most controversial thing that I've done today, and I do several controversial things on a day-to-day basis, perhaps the most controversial thing that I have done today would be to announce, have y'all seen this new map that it's a Facebook thing? I posted it up on my Twitter page, at Matt Murphy Show, the X Machine page, and it's showing the United States of America in strips of different colors. And so various states are striped with various colors. So the southern states, like, the southwestern states, like California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas are red. Hawaii's in there too. And then there's a strip of states that's Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida are all orange. And then there's a stripe that is yellow that involves Tennessee and Kentucky and North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, Kansas, etc. I won't name all of them. And you can only live, the idea here is you can only live and to travel within one color strip for the rest of your life. And the most controversial thing I've done today is, as much as I love my new adopted home state of Tennessee, I'm picking orange. And orange is just to our south. And I think Florida tips it for me. That's the most controversial thing that I've done. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Anyway, you can find that over on the social media site. I thought they'd get more reaction out of a young Jackson who doesn't seem to be very interested in most anything, including the show today. Hello, Jackson. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Tennessee and Georgia playing basketball tonight.
Are they now?
Yes.
What time's that going down?
Don't know, but I know they're playing.
Are we shutting the show down early just to go and enjoy ourselves a libation and go ahead and watch that contest of skill, that basketball contest of skill?
I'm open to it.
Okay. I'm good with that. Ken, who you got? Who you got, Ken? You got Tennessee, you got Georgia. Who you got?
Where's the game at?
I don't know. Jackson, I didn't know that there was one until Jackson told me. I'm going to – what if it was in Georgia, Ken?
If it was in Georgia, I am going to say Georgia.
Okay. What if it's in Knoxville?
I am probably going to say Knoxville.
Okay. Yeah,
UT.
Tennessee. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
It is in Athens, Georgia.
Well, there you go. Ken's on my team.
Dog's going to win. Dog's going to win.
It's a home game, fellas. Hello, Ken Weaver. What's going on with you?
How about you boys?
What's happening?
I'm just writing up news, man. A lot of news coming in today, boys.
Yeah, an incredible day. Obviously, there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C., a lot going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're going to catch you up with what's happening in Minnesota. Many people, myself included, are wondering why Ely and Omar staged a syringe attack. Look, y'all can say what you want, but it looked weird. It looks very, very odd. Her reaction right before the thing happened, her actions right after the thing happened. I mean, I got a lot of questions about what exactly was going on up there. Now, if it's a real deal attack, then that needs to be dealt with, and obviously it will be. The guy's been arrested, and he'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. That said, it feels like a sympathy play, especially as individuals are coming toward Ely and Omar and getting closer to the truth when it comes to the rampant fraud and abuse that she's engaged in while a sitting representative in the House of Representatives in the Congress of the United States of America. That is number one. Number two, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, amongst other things. Marco's like the Secretary of State. He's like isn't he the president of Venezuela now? I think so. He's also the captain of the U.S. soccer team. He owns Greenland. I mean, Marco, just anything that Donald Trump needs doing, he just gives to little Marco. Little Marco, go ahead, little Marco. And Marco handles it. Marco was testifying before the United States Senate, I believe it was, today, regarding United States involvement in Venezuela, amongst other things, and ran circles around his former colleagues in the United States Senate. We've got some audio for you, and we will play said audio for you at some point today. Johnny Garrett's going to stop by. He's a representative in the Tennessee General Assembly. He's also running for the 6th Congressional District seat being vacated by John Rose, who's running for governor, which is why I brought up the whole striped United States thing to begin with because John Rose responded to my decision that I would be in orange stripe and not in yellow stripe where Tennessee was, and he said, bless your heart, Matt. That's what John Rose said to me moments ago. Bless your heart, Matt. But Johnny Garrett will be with us at 4:05. Cameron Smith in the 5 o'clock hour. We also have Brent Baker with Nashville Electric Service at 5:05 this afternoon to give us, A, an update on power outages at the NES, and B, to try to explain to us exactly what's going on with NES. And that is ultimately where we will start episode 966 of the Matt Murphy Show on this Wednesday, January 28th. By the way, January 28th, Ken, you want to know? I think I'm right. Fact check me, Jackson. 40 years ago today.
Yes, sir.
Was it 40 years ago today? I think that's right.
Talking about Space Shuttle Challenger?
I am. I think it was January 28th.
I believe it was, too.
1986.
I was a senior in high school in my world affairs class.
I was a young lad of 12. No, was I 12? 86, I would have been. Yeah, 12.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah. And, Ken, I'll never forget it.
I won't either.
We were home because of an ice storm that hit Thomson, Georgia, Thomson, no P in Thompson, the day before. It was a sleet storm that happened that afternoon, and that led to icy conditions, much like we're dealing with in Middle Tennessee right now, and that led us to staying home. And I was on my grandparents' sofa, Ken. My grandma was in the kitchen, and I was watching Chuck Woolery and Scrabble. Remember Scrabble, the Scrabble game with Chuck Woolery?
Yeah.
I was watching Chuck Woolery and Scrabble, and I think we had just gotten done with Tattletales, which was another game show with Bert Convey, but that's another story for another day. Scrabble was on, and Dan Rather interrupted my Scrabble with a special report. Now, had we been in school, we would have been one of the – Jackson, you don't know this, so I guess I should back this story up. So the Challenger – do you know about Krista McAuliffe?
I know the Challenger exploded. I know the ending.
And so there was a nationwide competition initiated by President Ronald Reagan and NASA to take the quote-unquote first civilian into space. And they chose a school teacher because they wanted to generate interest within the school systems around the United States of America, within our public and private schools. They wanted to generate a renewed interest in space travel, the wonder of space travel, because it had waned a little bit since we decided to leave the moon, which, by the way, y'all know we're going back to the moon like in 2 weeks.
We're already there, I guarantee it.
You know, Ken, we are ready to launch that. Right, like, nobody's talking about it. We're about to send human beings back up into space, I think. I don't even know. And I'm yapping about it. But no, I think we're sending people to orbit the moon like in 2 weeks. Jackson,
I got to look it up.
Jackson, fact check number 2, please.
Do that. Look that up, Brother Jackson.
Are we or are we not sending human beings into space in the next couple of weeks to travel to the moon? Yes or no? I know we're sending a rocket up, but I think there are humans on it. That's what I want to know, if there are human beings on the rocket that's going up to the moon, one way or the other. So Christy McAuliffe won the competition, the nationwide competition, to become an astronaut and to go into space. And she was a school teacher. And because there was so much interest within the schools, and because she was a school teacher, and because they wanted to focus on the youngsters, there were millions of young people glued to their televisions within their schools, and we would have been one of them. There were plans for us to go to Assembly Hall and to watch the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger, but we were unable to do so because of the ice storm. Yes, Jackson.
Artemis 2 launches next week, February 6th, 2026.
Human beings on it?
I think so.
Well, that was the question.
Well, Artemis 2 is supposed to be the one with people.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I mean, I think there's people.
Will Artemis 2 have people on it?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's why they pay him the big bucks in News Closet B, friends.
Oh, I was asking Jackson.
Oh. No. I thought you were asking Grok or whatever in there. It's all
Yes, Artemis 2 will have people on board. It is the first crewed mission of the Artemis program, carrying 4 astronauts on a roughly 10-day lunar flyby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they won't land on the moon.
Well, but I think this is the beginning of the Mars deal, right? The idea
We're going
is
to Mars?
Eventually.
Yeah.
You think we could do radio on the Mars?
Well, you and I and Ken are not going to Mars.
Why aren't we going to Mars?
We are going to Curl, which is going to be fun.
And something else.
And then we're going to a boat show. Ken, we are angling to try to broadcast from a boat.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I want you to be able to do the news from a big old fancy pontoon boat in the middle of a boat show.
Will it be 96 degrees with humidity around 60%?
It will not.
We will be inside.
We will be inside.
Okay.
We'll be like in a building, and the boat will not be in water.
All right, I'm game.
Okay, good.
Ken didn't want to get sweaty doing the news.
I don't blame him.
No, I don't mind getting sweaty. I don't want to be freezing.
It's cold out there, y'all. It's a little odd. I dressed like it was 76 degrees in the middle of June today because it was 27, and I felt like it was a balmy 27 this morning when I got up. Anyway, where were we? We were talking I'll finish up my story about the Challenger. 40 years ago today. So I'm on the sofa, and Dan Rather interrupts Scrabble, and then they say there's been a problem with the space shuttle, and then, of course, we recognize that it was disastrous for the 7 astronauts aboard, including Christy McAuliffe. And then that night, one of the greatest speeches ever delivered in the Oval Office was delivered by President Ronald Reagan. It was written that day by Peggy Noonan, as a matter of fact, who, the end of that speech, we might play it at the end of the show today. It's just that powerful. It's not very long, but Ronald Reagan felt it was very important for him to speak to the nation, particularly the children of the United States of America, millions of whom were sitting in front of televisions watching as the Challenger disaster occurred. And he spoke directly to them. And at the end, he quotes a great line from a poet, and I forget the name of the poet. It said, "Let us remember them as we last saw them when they slipped the surly bonds of earth and touched the face of God." And man, oh man, just an incredibly powerful moment in American history. What an incredible communicator and statesman Ronald Reagan was. All right, so episode 966, we're starting on NES. So yesterday, toward the end of the show, if you were listening toward the end of the show, I am predisposed to give the benefit of the doubt to those hardworking men and women who are busting their humps to try to get us back to a sense of normal. And, there were criticisms being leveled toward, generally speaking, the idea that we don't have electrical power as of yet, 4 days after the ice event that occurred. And my general disposition was to say, look, these men and women are busting it. They're working as hard as they possibly can. They're putting in incredibly long hours. Let's give them a little bit of grace here as they try to get us all back on board and try to get us back up with electrical power. Well, I thought about it on the way home last night. I thought about it more as I did a bit of research on it last evening. And now new information has come on board. And the measure of what we do is we analyze things, we present information, we give opinion on said information, and then as more information comes in, that perhaps can change your opinion on these things, or at least your focus. And that's what I want to do. I want to direct our focus specifically to Nashville Electric Service. Now, Brent Baker is scheduled to be on. He is executive vice president for operations, I guess. He is a spokesperson, and he's been on with us over the last several days, every day this week, matter of fact, to give us updates on where they are in terms of power outages. Nashville Electric Service is not the only electric provider in Middle Tennessee. Now, Ken, you're back there in News Closet B.
Yes, sir.
Tell me if I'm missing. Duck River Electric, right?
Yeah, Duck River, Cumberland Electric Membership Co-op.
Middle Tennessee Electric.
You've got Columbia Power and Water.
Uh-huh.
And
Dixon.
Dixon Electric. And I mentioned Cumberland, right?
You did.
Those are the 5 biggest.
Right. And then there's small, like Mount Pleasant Power. That's a smaller electrical provider, and there are many of those.
Right.
So I understand that they don't have everyone back on board as of yet, those other companies. But it feels like, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, 615-737-9986, opening up the phone lines. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like they are making progress and doing things in a way that we're not seeing at NES. And then on top of that, there was a question about how many people were staffing NES prior to the storm and whether or not they were significantly understaffed based on the number of customers that they serve. At the beginning of all of this, it's my understanding that despite the fact that NES serves far more customers than MTE, Middle Tennessee Electric, I was under MTE in Mount Juliet and had a wonderful experience. Despite the fact that MTE serves far fewer customers, they had more linemen ready to go. And then once the storm happened, they had more linemen out on the streets than NES. Combine that with an accusation being leveled against Nashville Electric Service that the utility refused help from available linemen. And there's no better way to put it, the accusation and the criticism is based on an anonymous, now, albeit anonymous, so let's put that in the mix and weigh that. An anonymous report by two members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. They asked to be remain unnamed for fear of reprisal. They claim that NES declined offers of assistance from multiple union crews, opting for, in their words, less expensive contractors instead. According to a news report initially made available by Fox 17. Now, Fox 17 uncovered that on Monday, which is 24 hours and beyond, that's 36 hours after the storm, NES began work with significantly fewer linemen in the field than Middle Tennessee Electric. Middle Tennessee Electric had 200,000 fewer outages at the storm's peak, yet NES had 150 fewer linemen. Now, by Tuesday, NES had upped the linemen in the field to some 700. But here's the question I have for you. Now, once again, yesterday I was predisposed to try to defend these folks. I was defending, generally speaking, the men and women who are in the field, and I still defend those folks because they're not involved in any of this decision-making. They're working as hard as they possibly can. So let's separate what we're talking about. We're not talking about the crews in the field that are working. We're talking about the decision-makers in the offices that are making decisions about how many crews are actually in the field. Now, I ask you, Ken, you reported a minute ago that there were still like 109,000 outages for NES customers?
That's back up to 117,000.
So it's going the wrong direction?
Yes.
Oh, no. So do you think if I had an opportunity to add more linemen, they have 700 in the field. If I told you that they could have 1,000 or 1,200, wouldn't that be better? I mean, wouldn't that be better? So we're going to talk about this today. We're going to give Brent Baker an opportunity to explain all of this for us. I'm open to answers to the questions that we have about why customers are not being served as best as we believe they could be served by NES. It's 25 after the hour, just getting underway at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Johnny Garrett coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Cameron Smith in the 5 o'clock hour. Me and you on the phones. 615-737-9986. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. Jackson Williams. He is his normal, jovial, fun, friendly self. I feel like you have an attitude when you turn that hat on backwards. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like you're a little sassy.
No, it's just my headphones get in the way of the brim sometime. It makes me mad, so I put it behind me.
I don't know.
I'm probably frustrated with my headphone situation, so I look angrier than I really am.
I don't think you're angry, just a little sassy.
That's Brother Jackson's rolled up sleeves look, getting down to business look.
You ever see the fabulous feature film starring the great Sylvester Stallone, Ken, called Over the Top?
I never saw that.
Oh, it's so awful.
That's arm wrestling, right?
He's an arm wrestler. Yeah. And then right before he goes into an arm wrestling, he turns that hat on backwards.
Oh,
He's got his cap on, and he flips it on backwards. And when he flips it on backwards, you know it's on.
That means he's getting serious.
Oh, things are about to go down. Namely, the other dude's
Yes,
arm.
sir.
Wrench it right over.
Yeah.
Break that arm in half, boy. Over the Top. Highly recommended. Not really, but, go watch it and you'll think, God, that was a sucky movie, Murphy. He's a truck-driving, arm-wrestling man. I feel like that way when Jackson turns his on backwards. So I understand that the information that we're getting, and several of you on the Super Text line are indicating, hey, this is coming from a union shop. And apparently union shops, when it comes to electricity and linemen, and non-union shops, they don't jive very well together. And if that's true, then Brent Baker needs to tell us that. NES needs to tell us, hey, these were union contracted workers. We're a non-union plant, and we just don't jive because, as 4626 has indicated, and this makes perfect sense, that, look, if a union cooperative electrical company was offered help from non-union people, then they would be turned around and sent home, right? Because they're not union. So the union places are very, very, they're, and secretive was the word that came to mind. That's not the right word, but they're very, they shield themselves quite a bit from non-union workers. So if this is a union, non-union situation, then that's probably going to make me even angrier. Because people are without power. 117,000 households are without power. 117,000 paying customers are without power right now. Would we not want to get them power to the best of our ability as quickly as possible? Well, of course. So are there linemen that are available that are not being able to work because NES says no? Now, there's also a discrepancy between line men and line crews. And I know that there's a difference there, and I don't know which is which. I've seen the figure of 700. I think it's up to 900 potentially, Ken.
Yes, 900 as of today. That is in addition to 220 so-called vegetation clearing crews.
Now, is that 900 crews?
That's 900 line crews.
Well, a crew would consist of about, according to my super texters here, a crew would consist of roughly 4 linemen.
I believe so.
So you're telling me there's 3,600 people working the lines in Nashville right now?
If that's the case.
If that's the case, well, we're going to clear all of this up at 5:05 this afternoon on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the meantime, Mike, we're getting to you in just a second. Justin is in Old Hickory, wants to talk about NES. Hey, Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, Justin. Thank you for your call.
Oh, thanks, buddy. So I just want to know when the line of negligence comes into play, because I'm one of 4 homes in Old Hickory right now in my neighborhood of a lot. It says that there's more out in my neighborhood, but there's not. It's only me and 6 other homes, and everybody else around us has power, and I've been without power for 80 hours because they sent around one of these quote-unquote line crews with no linemen. There were 6 of them running around the neighborhood with a boom truck with no lineman with the truck. There was an active line on the ground for 4.5 hours in my neighbor's house's yard, burning the grass. We called 911 several times. It took them 4.5 hours to get there I can send you a video, Matt, of it burning on the ground. And then when the crew got there, minus a lineman, they turned it off, wrapped it up, and they haven't been back for 4 days. So what the hell is NES doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Please, by the way, send me that video. I would love to see it, number one. Number two, you're saying that they sent out trucks, but they didn't have any ability to fix anything on the were they just scouting?
They had a scout truck in front of them with what I like to call the chiefs, because all they were doing was barking orders to the other four in the boom truck. The boom truck was there wrapping up the cables and cleaning up vegetation, but they said they didn't have a lineman with them, even though they had a boom truck, where they could have just easily connected that cable back together or ran a new cable between two poles. That's it. It's literally one line between two poles, and I have been without power, and 5 of my other neighbors have been without power for 80 hours total now. And I know there's a lot of people without power, but when I ran into an NES manager driving around one of these little Ford Escapes going to the hub over there by my local convenience store, I flagged her down, told her about this, and I mean, it looked like you would think I was an ICE agent trying to deport her, the way she looked on her face, because she couldn't believe what I was telling her either. But it's the truth, and I don't know if they're hiding it or what, but I mean, you should not leave an active line on the ground for 5 hours in my neighbor's yard burning the grass. I mean, it was hot.
Our own Bell Kay, I don't know if you've heard his story, but Bell Kay, who produces Chad Benson's show, was my former producer when I was in Middays.
Right.
Bell
he
lives
has the thing over the line.
Yeah, he lives in Madison.
I try to listen to Chad. I try to listen to Chad. It's not you or Chris. So, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
But one way or the other, I mean, the bottom line is for the last 3 days, there has been presumably a live line down on his car. And they have no idea. So once again, I don't pretend to understand. And what I understand is that the people want answers. And what you need to be is very upfront with some of the answers to the questions that are being asked. And I don't pretend to understand what goes into getting the electrical power back up and running.
Right.
And there may be.
You don't, and that's why I want you to ask this guy from NES. My main question and why I called in is at one point, I mean, all my food and everything in my fridge is ruined. I mean, I don't know, diets because you did all that stuff last year. But I'm doing keto, and I have lots of frozen ribeye and stuff in the freezer that is now ruined at $17, $18 a pound. And I just have to I have to eat that because you guys couldn't get out here they were here the day of and wrapped the line up when they could have just connected it, and I wouldn't be without power for 4 days.
Well, I don't want to pick nits, but you and I have no idea whether they could have just connected it. Right. I think it's probably more than that, but it does not change the level of frustration that you're going through because it's 4 days later and you're still getting no answers. And it can be frustrating, especially look, if they're doing their best, okay, if they are getting after it as best they can, then you're not going to get complaints out of me. Last night, I was the first one to defend these folks. But now you do a little digging, a little research, and you're learning that, managerial policy I don't understand what's keeping more people from here. I don't understand, and let me just put a real fine point on it. It seems that Columbia Power's not having this situation. It seems that MTE's not having this situation. It feels, and if these are different circumstances, if there's a valid reason why MTE customers seem to be very pleased with the level of response that they've gotten, why Dixon Electric seems to be very pleased with the level of response that they've gotten, why Duck River seems pleased, why Cumberland seems pleased. All of these other companies seem to be doing the job to the best of their ability, and their customers feel like they've been communicated with. NES feels like the outlier right now, and I'm not trying to make them a bad guy. I just don't understand what they're not doing and why. And I'm trying to speak for those people who are sitting by their radios, listening on a battery-powered radio in the cold, wondering when the hell their power's coming back on, and why is it that we're going the wrong direction? I mean, we were down to 109,000 customers this morning. Now we're at 117,000 customers.
It's back down to 109.
Well, and I got several people saying that they're over in the Hermitage area, and that they've had power for the last several days, and now it's gone out again. So maybe those were some of the spikes. And once again, maybe that's necessary to get the totality of the system back up and running. What happened in Nashville that didn't happen in Mount Juliet? What happened in Nashville that didn't happen in Columbia? What happened in Nashville that didn't happen in Dixon? I'm confused. What dynamics are there in this metropolitan area that create a different set of circumstances for NES that makes it so much more difficult for them to get the power back up and running? And are they turning down crews? Are they turning down additional linemen? If they are turning down additional linemen, why are they doing that? Makes no sense. Mike is in Mount Pleasant. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm great, brother.
Hey, listen, for the goodness sake of your family, please do not put a generator in a garage.
Amen.
And turn it on. I literally was going by and seeing a guy starting a generator in his garage.
Mm-mm.
And I stopped and like, hey, sir, you can't do that. Well, I got the garage door open. I don't care. You're still going to get carbon dioxide in the home.
Mike,
It's got to be 20 feet.
Mike, I begged you not to tell on me like that, not to tell that story. No, I'm just kidding. That's it.
No, you have more common sense
No,
than
it wasn't
that,
me.
Mr. Murphy.
It wasn't me.
But I had to tell him, I was like, it's got to be 20 feet from the house. Because if you put it up against the house, it still can go in through the windows.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language.
You got to ventilate those things. You got to put them outside. You can't, I mean, because the fact that carbon monoxide, the fact that you've got the thing open is not, that doesn't change the game. You got to keep those things outside.
No, sir. And the other thing is, people have some patience because northbound on 65 is backed up from 840 past Saturn Parkway. Because they're doing some line clearing or something over there. There was a bunch of trucks over there, and just to let you know, you're going to need some patience.
I think I passed to that early this morning. I think what they're doing is trying to clear off some of the trees that fell onto the not the median, but the runoff where the emergency lane over there. They were clearing some of those trees off of there. At least that's what was happening earlier this morning. Mike, great call. Thank you for making it. Several of you have noted. I noted this, but you know what? Our caller was on a roll. Saying I got ribeye steaks that are in my freezer and they're ruining. And my first thought was, why didn't you put them outside? I know many of you thought the same thing. Why didn't you put them outside? Just put them outside. I mean, they're wrapped, right? It's been below freezing outside. It's like 32 degrees. I mean, just bury them in the ice. There's ice outside. Put
them in the ice.
Yeah, But he was on a roll. I mean, my ribeyes are not going to ruin in the freezer when it's icy cold outside. It's 31 degrees in the shade. I would put them outside and just trust that they'll be okay. Now, I mean, there's some peril going on there too, but many of you on the Super Text line have commented on that.
What about bears?
Yeah, you could.
Do you think about bears, Matt Murphy?
I don't think about bear. Well, I've got a bear hunter in my midst.
What do you about that trash panda?
Hey, Ken?
Yes, sir.
The other night, randomly, Jackson Williams texted me. Action Jackson, a.k.a. J. Willie, randomly texts me. And you know what the text says?
No.
I just killed a bear. And what'd you do? You made a hat out of its fur?
I did.
Did you do it with your bare hands, Brother Jackson?
I was bored on Saturday. I played a little Red Dead Redemption.
And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about?
We were talking about something else.
It's a video game. It's a video game.
Yeah,
I just killed a bear. What? I made a hat. I made a hat out of its fur. What are you talking about? On my video game! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Oh, okay.
There was nothing else to do on Saturday. What else was there to do on Saturday?
No, we got a bear hunter in our midst. So, no, I don't worry about bears, Jackson. I'll just call you. 53 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back in a moment.